Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Call Halal Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Barakatam, to you hopefully elect out there, and this is this is this is just going to be a video, man, through the spirit, because this is something that I've been just quoting to myself lately, because it's just like, damn, man, I did a video some days ago going into how, being in this truth, we develop a level of bitterness, you know, like the scriptures go into how the more wisdom we obtain, basically the more we are grieved, right? And I remember doing a video a good while ago going into the diary of a mad black man, pretty much, again, speaking on this bitterness that we got to deal with, that we got to go through, because again, with much wisdom, again, it comes more sorrow, because being in this current setup that we're living in, when we look around us, all right, this is not how it's supposed to be, and as brothers often say, man, how, again, in this current setup, man, we're not living, we're just simply surviving, because this isn't life, and it was never intended to be this way. It's not supposed to be this way. It's not supposed to be this way. All right. And it's just like, again, just looking at the current state of our condition, because even when it comes to our people as a whole, sometimes I even look at the 2/3 like, yeah, they're not going to get it. They got to be destroyed and they deserve it. But at the same time, it's just like, damn, man, because Jake is so far gone, man. Jake is completely through, to the point where the only remedy for them is death. That's the only remedy for them, because again, it's just like, damn. And even with that being said, shit's just getting worse and worse, and like I said, I've just been quoting this to myself as of lately, like, oh Adam, what hast thou done? Because ever since Adam fell, all right, and ever since Adam fell, man, this evil came into the world, due to sin. This is why we are in the current state of the condition that we're in right now, because ever since Adam fell, it just got worse and worse and worse and worse, to a point where we're literally living in the worst time in history, the most wicked time in history. And like I said, it's just to the point where it's still getting worse, to the point where, hey, the scriptures say, the Lord didn't speed the days up on the behalf of the elect. By the time that he did come back, there will be nobody to be saved. If the Lord allowed Esau to continue in his reign, he literally destroy everyone, including himself. So I'm gonna go ahead and get into this in 2nd Ezra chapter 7, verse 48. It says, "O thou Adam, what hast thou done? For though it was thou that sinned, thou art not fallen alone, but we all that come of thee." So you see, because again, it's not just Adam, it's all of us. Like I said, ever since the fall of Adam, shit has just gotten worse and worse and worse and worse. And it's just like, damn, man, what, oh Adam, what hast thou done? Because ultimately the way that the Lord set this up, it was necessary for this evil to come, for us to experience this evil on a, more spiritual level. Because again, it was never set up for us to be in this position. It was never set up for us to be living this way. But again, the way that the Lord, it was necessary for us to go through this, to experience this necessary evil. But still, it's just like, man, Adam, what hast thou done? Because if Adam never had sin, we wouldn't be in this position in the first place. And I believe it goes on to tell you that when you read on down, it says, "For what profit is it unto us if there be promised us an immortal time, whereas we have done the works that bring death? And that there is promised us an everlasting hope, whereas ourselves, being most wicked, are made vain. And that there is laid up for us dwellings of health and safety, whereas we have lived wickedly, and that the glory of the Most High is kept to defend them that which have led a weary life, whereas we have walked in the most wicked ways of all, and that there should be showed a paradise whose fruit endureth forever, wherein is security and medicine, so we shall not enter into it. Because again, ultimately what it comes down to, it, like I said, if Adam hadn't sinned, because the Lord initially created us, the Israelite man, to live forever. He created us to live, to be immortals. But again, due to sin, as of right now, we can't enjoy that pleasure of living, of immortality. We can't. The earth itself, is matter of fact, I'll go into that in Second Ezra chapter 14. Second Ezra chapter 14. Let me see where I can start. So Second Ezra chapter 14, I'm gonna start at verse 10. It says, "For the world hath lost its youth, and the times begin to wax old." All right. So again, like I said, due to Adam's sin, the earth it just got worse, man. Shit just went down the drain ever since Adam sinned. The earth has lost her youth. All right. Can't reap the benefits. Because the scriptures talk about how going to how before Adam sinned, listen, we didn't have to work. All right. We didn't have to plow the earth, or anything like that, You see, and like I said, the way that the Lord set this up, because pretty much before Adam sinned, listen, everything was handed to us on a silver platter. So this is why, that's why I said it was necessary for us to experience this necessary evil, because we really wouldn't appreciate it. The kingdom, we wouldn't really appreciate it. Well, listen, now we get it. All right, we appreciate it. We're going to appreciate it that much more when we get it back. Lord's will, we're of that number. We're definitely going to appreciate it. But before that, everything was handed to us on a silver platter. Like I said, we didn't have to plow the earth or anything like that. If you wanted the apple tree, the apple tree would just spring up out of the earth. Everything was just given to us. You see. But again, due to sin, now we gotta the pluck the earth, and do all these things. But like I said, the earth has lost its youth, can't yield the earth can't fully yield her fruit the way that she's supposed to. Reading on, it says, matter of fact, let me jump on down. I'm gonna jump down to verse. I'm going to jump down to verse 17. It says, "For look how much the world shall be weaker through age, so much the more shall evils increase upon them that dwell therein." So you see, the point being, it said, for look how much the world shall be weaker through age. Because again, the earth is this weak. We're all, we're all weak, sick, and dying in this sickly flesh. At one point, I'm going to get this. Just to show you how much, just how far we just how far left we went, I'm gonna get this in Numbers, because at one point, this is what was going on. All right. I said Numbers chapter 13. Numbers 13. I'm going to start at verse 21. And so they went up and searched the land from the wilderness of Zin unto Rehob, as many come to Hamath. And they ascended by the south and came unto Hebron, where Ahiman, Sheshai, and Talmai, the children of Anak, were. Now Hebron was built 7 years before Zoan in Egypt. Verse 23 is the point. It says, "And they came unto the brook of Eshcol, and cut down from thence a branch with one cluster of grapes." So one cluster of grapes. All right. And we're talking about in the ancient world. All right. Because you see, even the so-called fruit that we eat today is not real fruit for the most part. All right. And because that all goes into how the earth is just got weaker. All right. You see, everything now is relatively small. Everything is small, but the fruits back then in the ancient world were much larger than what they are today. All right, no GMOs or anything like that. So you see, just using this example of how compared to this time, compared to all the way to this time that we're in right now, what I'm reading about to this time that we're living in today, to show you how much weaker the earth has gotten. Right, again, this cluster of grapes, they cut down this cluster of grapes, right? It says, and they bear it between two upon a staff. So it took two men to basically carry this one cluster of grapes. And of course, back then in the ancient world, the men were a lot stronger, muscular, a lot healthier, stronger, right? It says they didn't brought of the pomegranates and of the figs. So again, this is just an example showing how weak the earth has become. All right, because again, back then, hey, it took two men to carry this one cluster of grapes. And I'm talking about two strong men. Like I said, the men back then were much stronger, much bigger than we are now. You see, as a matter of fact, since I was there, I was there in Psalm 90. That's the spirit. Matter of fact, before I get that, I'm gonna get this in Genesis chapter 6. Yeah, that's the spirit. Genesis chapter 6, I'm going to read verse 3. It says, and the Lord said, my spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he also is flesh. Yet his days shall be 120 years. Because you see, even again, during this time, men were living a lot longer lives than what we are today, what we're living today. All right, you read cases about men living up to 300, 400, 500, 600 years old. I believe the oldest man on account was like 90. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, 960 years old, almost a thousand, almost 1,000 years. You see, but again, due to sin, right? Hey, that lifespan was reduced to 120 years. You see, and even from there, going to 90, Psalms chapter 90. I believe that's verse 10, if I'm not mistaken. Psalms chapter 90, verse 10. Yeah, it says, so again, we live relatively during those times, 300, 400, 500, 600, 900 years old, and that was reduced to 120 years, right? But again, we're living in this due to sin, the world has become, it's just waxed weaker, and it just lost her not able to yield her fruit and whatnot. So it went from 120 to, when you read this here, it says Psalm 90:10, the days of our years are 60. Salakia, the days of our years are 60 years and 10. And if by reason of strength they be 80 years. So the so-called old age in this day and age that we're living in today, is roughly 70 years, and 80 if you get that, if you make it that far, But hell, we're so things are just so screwed up. Hell, you hear about a lot of, especially, just people in general, man. People living or people so-called dying at 40 years, 50 years, relatively young ages. Some 30 years. That's relatively young. So that's, like I said, it said the days of our years are 70 years and 10, and if by reason of strength they be 80 years. So you do have some that make it to 70 years, and if they're lucky, 80 years. But even with that being said, when you read on, it says, yet is their strength, labor, and sorrow, for it is soon cut off, and we fly away. So even if you make it to 70, 80, 90 years, it's still just a life full of just sorrow, suffering. Again, all due to the fall of Adam. All right, the sin of Adam. Once Adam sinned and transgressed, man, shit just went to shit. Things just the world just turned to shit, man. So going back to 2nd Ezra chapter 7, because like I said, man, this was something I just been, I see little things here and there, and I'm just like, oh, Adam, what has thou done? Because again, for one, it was never supposed to be like this. Like I mentioned, in the first place. It was never supposed to be like this, man. You know. But going back to it, 2nd Esdras chapter 7. 2nd Esdras chapter 7. I'm gonna read verse 48 again. It says, "O thou Adam, what hast thou done? For though it was thou that sinned, thou art not fallen alone, but we all that come of thee." So ever since Adam fell, man, like I've been saying, man, the world just went to complete shit. Everything just got weaker. Just everything's decrepit. Everything just went to complete shit, and it was never intended that way. I'm gonna jump back down, because again, the scriptures talk about how the Lord created us, created the Israelite man to live forever. We were created to be immortal. It was never meant for an Israelite, so-called Negro, Latino, Native American, Indian man or woman to be in this position that we are today. It was never, the Lord never set it up to be this way. We're not supposed to be working these 9-to-5 jobs and being under subjection to these heathens, and it was never supposed to be this way. But I'm gonna jump down. I'm gonna jump down. I'm going to read verse 61. It says, "That there should not be such heaviness in their destruction as shall be joy over them that are persuaded to salvation." No, that's not it. No, because I thought it was in this same chapter, unless I overread it. But as I mentioned earlier, ever since Adam sinned, the world just went to shit. It was never supposed to be like this. We created, the Israelites were created to live forever. Paradise, man. And when you go to the judgment in Genesis 3rd chapter, how by the sweat of thy brow, right? We got to work, all right, so on and so forth. It was never supposed to be like this, man. It was never supposed to be like this. But again, due to the sin of Adam, man, this is like, man. But it's spiritual, because for those that have ears to receive, one of the titles of Yahushua, he's a Alpha and Omega. It started with Adam, which, again, for those that have ears to receive, Adam was Yahushua, all right, and it's going to end with Yahushua. So in reality, it started with Yahushua, it's going to end with Yahushua, because when Yahushua comes, all right, then everything's going to be, it's going to be that great factory reset. Everything's going to be put back in order. Everything's going to be set. Paradise is going to be brought back on the earth. All right. It's because of, so to say, it's because of Yahushua we're in this predicament. But again, when Yahushua comes back, he's going to be the one to set it. He's going to be the one to set the record straight and make things right. But like I said, I was just meditating. This is something that I've just been telling myself lately, man, because it's just like, damn, man. Oh, Adam, what hast thou done? But nevertheless, hopefully this was edifying. All praises to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, brought a thumb to you, hopefully elect. Lord's willing, till next time, Shalom.